He's the first police officer in the state of Georgia that ever pulled me over. And when I tell you, he was very rude and he was upset that he didn't find nothing in my vehicle.
Sir, you have talked a lot. What else you need to know?
That makes sense. Because I really want to go to trial.
We'll go to trial, sir. I'm not even going to take your Nolo. Let's go to trial.
Now that I looked at the video, I think I understand what happened.
On the night of November 19th, 2025, at nearly 3 a.m, Officer Hamburg of the Clayton County Police Department was parked at the intersection of Walker Road and East Fayetteville Road with his dash cam running. For Isaiah Jamel Townsend, this was never just about a stop sign violation. A commercial driver's license operates under a completely different set of federal and state regulations than a standard driver's license, and a conviction, or even a Nolo contendere plea, can carry consequences that a traffic court simply cannot guarantee. That question had been following him through 3 previous appearances without an answer. On his 4th appearance before Judge Tammy Longward, he still didn't have one.
Townsend?
Mr. Townsend is in the courtroom, I believe. I believe Mr. Townsend may want to go forward as well. I think Mr. Townsend may hold a CDL.
Mr. Townsend? All right, sir, are we trying your case?
When I talked to the people that came in, they basically told me, y'all got something called a Nolo, where it doesn't affect my driver's license if I'm trying to pursue my CDL and I don't get no points. But at the same time, they told me it's not guaranteed.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. We know regular car stuff. We don't know CDL stuff. And so because CDL involves federal and state law, we don't know how a Nolo would affect it. It might have the same effect. It might not. So we try not to, let me just tell you this, though. A plea you can take a plea and get a Nolo. If you go to trial, it's going to be not guilty or guilty. So you run the risk of getting a guilty instead of when you could have had a Nolo. Now, this is your trial date. If this is a major concern for you, do you need us to continue it until you figure this out and then come back on the next trial calendar?
I ain't gonna lie. It's my 4th time in this courtroom. I'm trying to make it my last. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm trying to make it your last too, but I don't know why you keep coming back. If it's the same situation, you should have asked the questions by now.
I mean, technically, y'all brought me back. You know what I'm saying? Technically.
Right. But when you came here before, and then you had to be rescheduled, probably because of an officer conflict, you didn't ask the questions about your license to somebody who knows about CDLs?
You saying in the courtroom or outside the courtroom?
No, when you left the courtroom, did you go back and ask somebody, hey, this is what I'm facing. Is this going to affect my ability to get a CDL? Because we don't know.
No, at that time, I ain't speak to nobody. I think I'm going to do the Nolo. I'm tired of coming in this courtroom. So we're going to do the Nolo.
Okay. Mr. Brooks, he wishes to enter a Nolo to stop a yield sign violation.
It's $100 fine, Your Honor.
All right. Raise your right hand for me, Mr. Townsend. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
What?
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down. So you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Isaiah Jamel Townsend, 2025 TK 24652, stop or yield sign violation. You're entering a plea of Nolo. By doing so, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself. And if you are not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
I understand everything you said.
Did you have a question?
I do.
Go ahead, sir.
I don't think it's really a question. I think it's more of a statement.
Go ahead.
When I was talking to the people out there, they basically told me they want me to feel comfortable with my decision.
Yes.
I'm going to be honest. I really feel like I'm forced. I really feel like I'm forced with the Nolo, because if I don't do the Nolo, 9 times out of 10, y'all going to go to cop.
No, sir. First of all, anybody will tell you, police officers and everybody else, that I make my own decisions. I don't side with anybody. Number one. Number two, it's your choice to make. I can't push you one way or the other. If you're not comfortable with the Nolo, we can do the trial. I don't have a dog in this fight, is what I'm trying to tell you. This is what I'm here to do. If bench trial day, I do bench trials. If people want to take the plea Sometimes it works out better for them, then take the plea. But I can't make the decision that you've had. You said you've been here 4 times, which means you've had at least 3 times between appearances to ask the questions you need to ask to know if a Nolo will benefit you or a trial will benefit you. But I can't tell you that, and you didn't do your due diligence. So don't say that we're forcing you to do anything.
I'm saying like the 3 times I came here, you was the same judge that the charge that I'm being charged for. I watched you allow 3 different situations to come up here and they all left dismissed. What I'm saying in my case is I may not be as lucky if I do the trial, you know what I mean, and it might end up guilty.
So what you're saying is I did side for the person coming up when I thought they should have won their case, right?
No. What I'm saying is I sat back and I watched you 3 times in a row support the people that had my charge. But at the same time, what I'm saying is I don't want to gamble and take a risk thinking I'm them people and my outcome may be different. Does that make sense?
Yeah, your outcome could be different. I'm not gonna lie to you, but
so what I'm saying is the difference is when you gave them people the opportunity, you gave them the opportunity to speak on the situation. At that time, that was the trial situation. What I'm saying is I could do that same thing and I may not be as lucky. So that's why I'm doing the Nolo. That's why I feel forced. Does that make sense? Because I really want to go to trial. That's why I feel forced. Does that make sense? Because I really want to go to trial.
We'll go to trial, sir. I'm not even going to take your Nolo. Let's go to trial. Mr. Brooks, you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. At trial, Mr. Townsend, the state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. They're going to present their witnesses. You have the right to ask any question of any witness brought before this court. Please don't make any statements or say how you thought it was or tell the officer what you think happened until such time as we can determine that you are going to testify. The reason that is important is you have a right to remain silent. Anything that you say can be used against you in the prosecution of this case. And so we need to wait until you have decided to give up your right to remain silent in order to offer testimony if you choose to do so. Because the state has the burden and you have a right to remain silent, you do not have to give any testimony or evidence or make any statements. The court may determine this case based on the information presented by the state solely because they have to carry their burden beyond a reasonable doubt. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. So this is case 2025 TK 24652 for stop or yield sign violation, Isaiah Jamel Thomas.
Officer Hambrick, if you would activate your microphone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony you're about to give in the matter now pending before the court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but truth, so help you God?
I do.
Thank you. State your name for the record.
Officer Stephen Hambrick
And how are you employed, Officer Hambrick?
with Clay County Police Department.
How long have you so been employed?
About a year and a half.
On November the 19th of 2025, approximately at 2:42 in the morning, do you recall being on duty on that day?
Yes, sir.
Do you work in a particular sector of the county?
Yes, sir. Sector 2.
Is Walker Road and East Fayetteville Road within Sector 2?
Yes, sir.
Is that within Clayton County?
Yes, sir.
Now, on that day, do you recall being at that intersection and identifying a vehicle that failed to stop at a stop sign?
Yes, sir.
Did you initiate a stop on that vehicle?
I did, sir.
Was the vehicle a Ford Fusion 2015 driven by a Isaiah Townsend?
That is correct.
How did you come to execute the stop, and what did you observe?
Well, I was on Walker Road, I was on East Fayetteville Road, facing Walker Road. I have my dash cam pointed towards the intersection. I observed him roll through the intersection without coming to a stop at all. And after seeing the violation, I initiated a traffic stop.
And when you made contact with the driver, how did you identify the driver?
By his driving license.
Now, by his driver's license, did it identify him as Isaiah Jamel Townsend?
That is correct.
And when you made contact with the driver, Mr. Townsend, did you speak with him?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall him making any statements to you?
I told him the reason for the stop, and he denied. He basically said he stopped at the stop sign, and I advised him that he didn't.
And that vehicle, it entered into that intersection without stopping at the blinking red or at the red stop sign.
That is correct.
Okay. No additional questions at this time.
All right. Did the state have additional evidence or witnesses to present?
The state rests, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Townsend, you have the right at this time, if you wish, to give up your right to remain silent, to offer testimony in this case. You are not required to. The state has the burden of proving the case against you beyond a reasonable doubt. If you wish to present evidence and testimony, you may do so. Do you wish to do that, sir?
I do wish to make a statement. Yeah.
All right. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can put your hand down. So you have the right to remain silent under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution of the United States. Do you wish to give up that right to remain silent and offer testimony in this case?
I wish to speak.
Okay, that means you wish to give up your right to remain
That's
silent.
correct. That's correct.
Okay. All right, go ahead and tell me what you wish me to know.
All right, so I'm gonna start from the beginning.
Okay.
I work at UPS. I went to work at 10 o'clock. I got off at 2 o'clock. My girlfriend had left her key in my car, and she asked me to come drop it off to her when I get off of work because she had to be to work at 6 a.m. So I told her originally, it's Riverdale. I'm cool. I ain't got time for the police. Long story short, she was adamant about not being late to work. So I decided to get off work at 2 o'clock. I arrived in Riverdale around 2:30. I got to that stop sign. It was probably like 2:35, 2:40, no later than that. When I tell you, it was no vehicles in sight. That includes law enforcement vehicles, any vehicle on the road. I was the only person on the road. Not only that, I heard about Riverdale is one of the worst areas to, deal with law enforcement in. So I'm real cautious when I'm in that area, even to this day. I just was there yesterday in the same location where he said he pulled me over at. Anytime I'm in Riverdale, I always make sure that, I'm focused on the traffic laws because, I haven't been in trouble with the law criminal wise or traffic wise for years. So for me, I take it very personal to keep my traffic record clean when it comes to law enforcement. So when I came to that stop sign that night, I know for a fact that I stopped. Not only did I stop, maybe 50 yards down the road, I saw the officer put on his blue lights. He had to catch up to me. I had already slowed down and stopped at the time. And then he came and got out the car, asked for my driver's license and all that. He called 2 more officers. He never spoke to me once he grabbed my license. Like once he grabbed my license, he went back to the car. He had the other 2 officers basically stand there with me the entire time. And then I asked them, can I speak to him? And he basically ignored me. Like the only time he spoke to me was when he had my license. And then he went to his car, had the officers wait there. Then he came back, gave me the ticket. He basically told me, like, if I don't sign this ticket, he gonna take me to jail. He also searched my car because he said my car smelled like weed. I don't smoke weed. So my personal interaction, he's the first police officer in the state of Georgia that ever pulled me over. I've never been in contact with no police in the state of Georgia. He's the first one. And when I tell you, he was very rude and he was upset that he didn't find nothing in my vehicle because he said it smelled like weed. I had already told him, my girlfriend, she do smoke weed, so I had explained that to him like, hey, earlier in the day, she might have been in the car smoking a joint or whatever the case may be. He didn't want to hear that. So he searched my car. Once he didn't find nothing in my car, and once he seen that I didn't have like a warrant or nothing like that, that's when he told me, all right, look, I'm gonna give you this ticket. And I tried to communicate with him. The other officers, they was very polite, they was very professional. He was the only one that, I felt like, I just felt uncomfortable around him. You know what I'm saying? I felt like he was very unprofessional. And every time I tried to speak to him with common courtesy and decency, it was like, nah, I'm good. Like it was a bad experience, long story short. You know what I'm saying? I was trying to help my girlfriend out so she could make it to work on time. And I already knew I didn't want to do it, but I tried to help her. And then in return, I ended up getting a ticket. I've been in Georgia for 3 years. I've never, ever been in trouble with the law, whether it's a ticket or whether it's criminal, until I met this officer. And what I'm saying is, when I go to the Nolo thing, when I was saying about being forced, in my mind, I really do want to resolve this case. But at the same time, I don't want it to come back and bite me in the butt later in the future. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said earlier, you only deal with what you deal with. You don't know the CDL side of it. So basically what I'm saying to you is I didn't do what he said I did. You know what I'm saying? And I know for a fact that I stopped at that stop sign. Even to this day, I'm traumatized from the stop. When I tell you, is no like yesterday, I was at that stop sign. I was at that stop sign yesterday. There was no cars in sight. I made sure I stopped there because I didn't want another opportunity where an officer like this would say, hey, you ran a stop sign. And all reality is like, bro, nobody was out there. It was almost 3 a.m. I was coming from work to get my girlfriend her key. And next thing I know, I'm being pulled over and my car is being searched. You got 3 officers in total there. And then when I try to speak to him, it's like 2 of them was professional and he was the only one that, he was upset that he didn't have nothing on me. I just feel like, basically I feel violated. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I went with the trial situation, because I felt like I wanted to be heard. You know what I'm saying? He was heard. I should be heard. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a track record of, tickets or DUIs or anything like that other people do. It's very important to me that I keep my nose clean because I'm trying to be a better person in life through the CDL situation. I can't, mess that up. And if I do mess that up, then it's like, all right, what position do that put me in? I work at UPS. They got tractor trailers and stuff like that. They basically put you through a class, and then once you pass the class, you now work for UPS as a CDL Class A driver. This situation with this officer has literally traumatized me to the point where I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pursue that anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm just trying to resolve this case.
Mr. Brooks?
Mr. Townsend, you advised that you got off of work at about 2 o'clock in the morning, correct?
Correct.
And you got to the traffic intersection about 2:40 roughly?
235, 240.
2:35, 2:40. And you also testified that you were trying to get to your girlfriend's house before 6 o'clock because she was adamant that she could not be late for work, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and your girlfriend, she lived somewhere in the area?
From the stop sign, I would say no more than maybe 6 minutes, 5 minutes.
Okay, 6 minutes, 6 to 5 minutes from the stop sign. And when you got to that intersection, it was nighttime or early morning, right?
Correct.
And your testimony is that you didn't see any vehicles in the intersection, correct?
Obviously, I was looking straight. I didn't see him. I looked in the rear view. I didn't see him. You have to come to the stop sign and look left and right. That's the purpose of a stop sign. So once I looked at all 4 situations, that's when I pursued. Once I went past that stop sign, it was probably 50 feet. I seen blue lights. I immediately pulled over. Immediately when I saw them lights.
So you never saw the officer in the intersection, correct?
There was no officer at the intersection. If
Okay.
anything, there's a store at the top of that hill. I don't know the name of that store, but there's a store at the top of that hill, and then there's the stop sign. From the store to the stop sign, I stopped at the stop sign. I went past the stop sign. That's when I saw the blue lights, and then I
Okay.
pulled over, and then he got behind me.
Okay. You were driving a Ford Fusion, a black Ford Fusion,
Yes, sir.
2015.
Yes, sir.
Investigator Ecure, if you could activate your camera. Your Honor, does the state have the ability to share screens?
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Now, Mr. Townsend, the intersection, and that intersection is a fairly dark intersection, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and it has a blinking red light to also indicate that there's a stop sign in that area, correct?
I never seen the blinking stop sign. I go through there daily.
Not a blinking stop sign, a blinking red light.
There's no blinking red light there that I see. There is a red stop sign there for sure.
Okay. I'm going to show you a video, and I want you to see. I want you to tell me if this is if this is what you remember from the stop. Mr. Townsend, do you recognize that vehicle?
My vehicle, yes.
That's your vehicle?
It's not my vehicle, but I was driving it at the time, yes.
You were driving that vehicle?
Yeah.
And would you say that this video is a truthful and accurate reflection of what happened on that night?
I still don't remember seeing that red blinking sign.
Okay.
I didn't see that, honestly.
You don't remember that?
No, sir.
Okay. At this time, the state will move into evidence will be marked as State's Exhibit number 1 as a depiction of what happened on the incident night, November the 19th, 2025.
All right. It will be admitted.
Continue to play, Investigator Curie. Now, stop the video, please, Investigator Curie. Now, Mr. Townsend, you mentioned that the officer stopped you roughly about 50 yards up the road, and the officer was not in the intersection. Do you still commit to that testimony, or would you like to change your testimony?
Based off how you just started the video, it didn't look like he was at the intersection. It looked like he was on the side.
Mm-hmm. Was he able to see the intersection clearly?
I mean, based off.
We'll start it over for you. We'll start it over so you can clear it. Okay, you see the flashing red light?
I mean,
one moment. Okay. We see this. So you see that car that just came? Is that an intersection?
Okay. I see it now. Yeah.
All right. And do you disagree that the officer's car is pointing towards the intersection? That's your car going into the intersection, correct? It didn't stop, did it? Ms. Townsend, did it stop?
You mentioned earlier something that just intrigued me.
Okay, I need you to answer my question. Then you can go into that.
Yeah. I said yeah.
I said, did your vehicle stop at the intersection?
No.
Okay. No further questions.
Anything else, Mr. Townsend?
Yeah. I now that I looked at the video, I think I understand what happened. No. I didn't peep. I just off the video.
That's not me, Mr. Townsend. I think somebody has their mic on.
I'm watching the video and it just played back in my mind from that night.
Okay.
This is like a month or two ago. Like, a lot go on. So based off the video, let's go back into what I said earlier about me getting off work, because that was very important. When I got off work, I had just worked probably like a 12-hour shift. And I think that based off looking at the video, I might have been wrong. So based off the video, me looking at it go through the intersection, the officer was right. And I think at that time, I was tired and fatigued and probably dozed off. But based off looking at the video, I think that's what happened.
All right. Anything else at this time?
No.
All right. You can take the dash cam down, Mr. Investigator Curie. Does the state have anything at this time?
No additional witnesses.
All right. Mr. Townsend, the court has reviewed the testimony in this case, both the testimony of the officer who responded and also the testimony, your testimony, and the video that was introduced into evidence of the actual traffic event. The court is going to find you guilty of the event guilty of the offense of stop or yield sign violation. Does the state have a recommendation for sentencing?
Yeah, a $200 fine, right?
All right, the fine will be $200. It'll be $298 with the surcharges. And sir, I can give you up to 60 days to pay without putting you on probation, or I can give you for a probation, 12 months probation to pay the fines and fees. Did you want to pay it today, or did you need 30 days or 60 days?
I need 60 days.
All right. So what I'm going to ask you to do now is you're going to go downstairs to the second floor. Please do not skip this stop. You're going to go to the second floor to the traffic court window. They're going to give you your paperwork. They're going to give you all the information about how to pay. You can pay online or by phone or coming back to that window to pay in person. Please remember that if you fail to pay, an arrest warrant could issue, and you do not want that. The total will be, I think, $298. You can head down to the second floor for me. Thank you.
I had something to say, Judge. Can I speak?
Sir, you have talked a lot. What else you need to know?
I ain't gonna lie. This go hand in hand with what I was telling you, Judge, about the force situation, though. You know what I'm saying?
Sir, I didn't force you. You went to trial.
No, you said
You didn't expect the dash cam. That's all. That's the only difference in what you're saying. You said you felt forced. I don't force people to take a plea. I gave you the option. I said you could take a Nolo plea
Let me ask
or
you
you
this.
could go to trial. Sir, what you need now? If you want to appeal my decision, you may, but please understand that the appellate court will see the video.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So head on down to the second floor for me. Let's not belabor this, sir.
Isaiah Jamel Townsend walked into that courtroom on his fourth appearance, facing a stop sign violation with a commercial driver's license hanging in the balance. A charge that on the surface carries a $100 fine, but under federal regulations governed by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration carries consequences that a traffic court cannot undo. A moving violation conviction committed in a personal vehicle still gets reported to the CDL record, and accumulating 2 serious traffic violations within a 3-year period triggers a mandatory disqualification from operating a commercial vehicle entirely. That is what was at stake every single time Townsend walked into that courtroom. He had a Nolo plea on the table that would have kept points off his record, but he turned it down and chose to take the stand, and the dashcam settled the argument in under 2 minutes. The court gave him the trial he asked for, and the verdict gave him the answer he was not prepared for. If you drive with a CDL or know someone who does, drop this video to them, because most CDL holders do not know this federal regulation exists until it is already too late.